Okay, everybody, here we come back for part 2 of how to set up a Coolidor, which again is a ice chest, a cooler as a humidor to store your cigars, because they do maintain humidity. They may maintain it a little bit too much, and I'll show you how to deal with that here in just a second. And so if you haven't watched part 1, go back and watch part 1 first, because you have to get the cooler set up properly or your cigars will not taste right. They may maintain the humidity, but I don't care if you have a perfectly burning, smoking cigar. If it tastes like a plastic doo-doo, we'll just leave it at that. It's not going to be something you're going to enjoy. And so I'm going to pause this, flip the camera back around here. I'm going to load the Coolidor. We've already got it cleaned out. We've got it prepped. We've got it ready to go. We'll load it with cigars, and then we'll talk a little bit about humidity and how we need to deal with that. So hang on just like a microsecond, and I'll be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are back with our cooler. If you watched again, watch part 1 first. We've got it set up. We've got it ready to load cigars. And so open up of course you got to open it, right? And now loading it, the most difficult part of loading it, picking the cigars up, putting them in there. Really, that's all there is to it, guys. Now if you have cigar boxes, you can just, oh sorry, I guess I gotta watch what I'm doing. Just load your boxes of cigars. You know what, let me do this, since that's a longer box. Let me start on this side. And let me kind of work my way up, see if these will fit in here. And after a while, you can kind of begin to tell what kind of cigars I really enjoy. And you just keep building it up. Now, you can, if you don't have boxes of cigars, you can take like a gallon Ziploc bag and just fill that baggie full of, I was going to say full of Ziplocs, full of cigars, and then leave the top open. Don't zip it closed, leave it open, and then you can just set them in there. If you want, most cigar shops will sell you their empty boxes for, I've seen them anywhere from 50 cents to maybe $3 is about the most I've seen them. I'd say on average you pay $1 to $2 for an empty box. And then when you buy singles, when you buy 5-packs, you buy 10-packs, when you buy any other quantity besides a box, you can load them in there. If you're going to buy a box from a cigar shop, get a cedar box. They make all different kinds of boxes. Take into account what size your cooler is. So, you know, you don't want, you know, and I like, if I get boxes, I like the thinner, wider ones. You can get some that are about half this, that are about 4 times as tall. These just fit in my cooler better. And then close the lid. Now we haven't got our humidity in there yet, but that's going to store or keep your humidity level the same. Now if I can get this, and you see what kind of seal it has. Now another thing I will do, let me grab this here, and of course if you've got, like this was a special pack here I've smoked a couple out, they can go in there anywhere, however, you know, rearrange, and you will be in this cooler, I would say a minimum of every 6 weeks. And then I keep a little Rubbermaid dish in there as well. Let me get this out. I'll talk about that guy here in just a second. Now what I do when I purchase cigars, whether it's online or in a brick and mortar store, I like to let them set in my humidity environment at a minimum of 2 weeks before I smoke them. Just because a lot of times when you get them from a brick and mortar, if they keep their humidity correct, they keep their humidity typically at a 70. Sometimes I've even seen it at 72% in there. And so again, it's a little bit too moist for me. If you're shipping them in from wherever, Cigar Bed, Famous Smoke, Cigar International, Neptune, I mean there's, you know, Stogie, Boys, I mean there's millions of places you could order them online. A lot of times they go from a nice environment to a shipping truck, to a shipping warehouse, to maybe an airport, to another delivery truck, to maybe another warehouse. If you get them in a couple of days, you're doing pretty good. If you get them in a week or 2 weeks, I've had a box of cigars take about a week and a half to get to me one time. And so the whole box went in here for a month before I even popped the sucker open. When I store boxes, like a lot of these boxes, especially I know these Olivas for sure, they come in cellophane wrap. Once I'm ready for them to go in here, I take the cellophane wrap off because I want to be able to get humidity. Of course, you can't see that seam there a little bit, but I want to get be able to transfer humidity back and forth in there. And so I take the cellophane wrap off. Now, I will have this little Tupperware dish in here, and I let them sit in here for a couple of weeks before I touch them. And then, after they've been in here for a couple of weeks, then I can take them to, say if I have an empty box, which I can't get, see that one's got a little bit of room in there, then I can start moving them into, you know, another box. And so, and then here is the lid for the container. I do not put the lid on there. I do keep it in here because I'm going to need that lid in the future to help me maintain my humidity. Now, if you don't have, if you've got, say, this is all your cigar stash right here, you got whatever, 15, 20, 30, 40, you can get you a Tupperware dish. Boom. You got a great Tupador. That will hold your humidity in very well. Now again, we've got to put some type of humidification device in there, which I will talk about here in just a second. And so now we've got the humidor loaded. We are ready to start putting a humidification device in there, maintaining humidity. There are several different ways to do that. I think I'm going to actually make that into another video here because I don't want these to go too long. And then you can watch them all at once if you want. You can watch them and then come back the next day and watch the next one, etc., etc. So I am going to shut this down, and we'll come back and start working on maintaining humidity.